Let me just remove the existing code. So we will go with very basic one. What's the most famous question we get asked when ES6 feature anyone will ask? What's the most famous one?
Arrow function got introduced.
Arrow
What is arrow
function.
function?
Again, let and constant got introduced in ES6.
Yes, let and constant.
So
Let and const.
let's start with that.
And even oops in ES6, oop concept in JavaScript.
Just basic class we got in ES6, but apart from after that also we got so many things in next year's versions. Let's start with var let and const. Just a moment. Okay. So when we say var let and const, there are three types of there are three ways by which we can create a variable. So var let and const each has a different scope. By the time we know like what is scope, right? Where you have created the variable, by what number of where, by which line or by what block you can access that particular variable. That is nothing but the scope of that particular variable. Correct? Now, var, when we say the scope of var will have a function or the global scope. Var has function or global scope. Okay, let's see that first. Let's say I created a variable course is equal to React. So this variable I have created in global space. So doesn't matter where I can, in a function, inside a function, everywhere I can access it. Console.log, I can access this variable because currently this variable is in global scope. Let's open the console. And this function we need to call. So see, we are able to access this variable. Again, let's say inside this function also, we have one more function. And inside this function, we are trying to access the variable. Still, I will be able to do it because it's a global variable. Okay. This function we need to execute again. See, this is one example. Let's say we created a for loop. Okay. Instead of let, I use var. Can I access var after this for loop? We can. As I said, var has function or the global scope. Currently, this for loop is inside the directly script type, means global. So I can access this for loop after the for, I can access this variable after the for loop also. What we are doing? Okay, array is not defined. Let's say 10. Inside that one. So see, whatever for loop variable has after the 10, the latest value of the index was 10. So we are able to access it. Okay. So this is just a tricky question. Like they will ask you to write a for loop and they will ask you like, if I try to access after the for loop, will you be able to access it? Right. So just get your concept clear. If you are creating a variable with var, where you have declared it. Now we know like this var we have declared inside the for loop, but where is this for loop? Inside global scope. So I can access this anywhere, just like this normal variable. Okay. If I access this variable over here, is before the starting. So we are trying to access a variable before it is getting initialized. So undefined hosting. Okay. Now, then let's say we create a function normal, print name, and inside this function, we create a variable. Name is equal to something. Now, this name variable we have created inside the function code. Now, this name will have the function scope. Now I cannot access this variable outside because where I have created that variable inside the function. So this variable will have the function scope. Let's change the name to 2. I'm getting it. Okay. So we will get the error like name2 is not defined. So as I said, where you are creating the var, like that it will depend either function or the global scope. Okay. So this is about var. Now let's jump back to the let and const. Let's say I created a variable let duration is equal to months. Okay. So we have created this variable. The normal way is we will be able to access it after the initialization. Okay. We will get the value also. But if we try to access the variable from this line to this line, this variable is in the temporal dead zone. From this line to this line, this variable is currently in the temporal dead zone. Means unless this line is not getting executed, this variable is in the temporal dead zone. So we cannot access the, means obviously we say like let and constant double doesn't support hosting, but it does, but in a different way. Currently, unless that line gets executed initialization, they are in the temporal dead zone. Okay. If you are aware about the temporal dead zone, then you can answer like that, but it will also work. Like if you say just var supports the hosting, and if you say like let and constant doesn't support the hosting, that answer is also correct. But again, if you go deep, then you can say, yeah, it support hosting, but they are currently in the temporal dead zone. Okay. So we will get the reference error we will get. If we try to access a variable, either it is declared with let and const, and before initialization, if we try to access, it will provide the proper error, like cannot access to a particular variable before initialize. Means it has found that variable, but it is not initialized that because that particular variable at that particular time is in the temporal dead zone. So we cannot access that variable. Same goes with the constant also. Okay. Constant. So I get out of the variable. Okay. If I try to access this variable also, same error I will get. See. Clear everyone? Okay. So you cannot access variable which is declared with let and const before its initialization. You will get the error like cannot access this before initialization. Now, let's comment it. One variation is there. Let's say I created a variable where teacher name is equal to AAA. I can reuse this variable for declaration where same name I can reuse. Okay. Obviously, this line will execute. So my var variable, whatever the value we have at this 18 line number will get replaced. So console.log teacher name. So I will be able to print it also. Latest value it will hold. But it doesn't give the error. Like we can use same variable twice. But same thing cannot happen with let and const. Let duration. Okay. Here only we get the error, compile error only. Okay. So we cannot reuse the variable in case of let and const, but in case of var we can. See why I'm going very deep? Because so many programming snippets are there regarding this only. They will try to confuse you there are so many ways by which you might get confused. Even if you prepared also, no, sometimes let's say you are not in touch for at least 1 or 2 weeks, still you will get confused. Okay. So this is very confusing for us. So as mean like we have some set of rules, we have to learn it properly. Okay. So where redeclaration is possible with the same name, but in case of let and constant, we cannot do that. Okay. Then what we said, the for loop we saw, right? In case of where we were able to access it. Let's try the for loop with let. So let we have already over here. 5. If I try to access console.log index over here, I got the error. What this error means? Index is not defined. It is not able to understand what is index. Just like how we don't create a variable and we try to access it. Same error we got. But variable is there. And this for loop is inside my script tag also directly. But here comes the scope. As I said, var is either function or global scope. But let and constant are block scope. Means if you create a variable inside this, currently we have this up, this is just for the for loop, but this variable we are able to access with this within this block scope only. We cannot access this variable outside this block scope because let and constant have block scope only. We cannot access after the block scope. This is one, okay? For loop, we are not able to access. Let's say if I write if condition with false, let address something console.log your address variable, still you will get the same error. Address is not defined. So what I said, block scope. So this variable we have declared inside this block scope, so we cannot access it outside. But let's say if it was a var, we'll be able to access it. Obviously, value will be undefined because this line is not going to execute. So by default, undefined value we will get. Understood? So this is the very pure snippet which will help you to understand what is the var let and scope. Means what's the scope of var let and const. Let and constant will have a block scope only. Outside the block, you cannot access it. Okay. One more variation. Let's create a function print name. Now this if condition we move over here. Okay. In this console log, I'm trying over here inside the function. Still same thing. This variable, let's go with let. So this variable we have declared inside this block scope. So not inside this function also we can access. Because the rule is let and const have a block scope only. So here you might get confused like this is also block scope. But no, we have created this variable again inside a block scope. So this will be valid inside this block scope only. We cannot access it outside it. Clear? So this is that scope you need to understand. Var will have function or the global scope. Let and const has block scope. Var support hosting, just for normal use say, let and constant doesn't support hosting, but they are in the temporal dead zone till that line get executed. Redeclaration is not possible in case of let and constant. In case of var, it is possible. You can use same variable name twice. Okay. Now, let and constant has some different. Let's say we created a variable with teacher name. We have already. Teacher is equal to AAA. Now we can change the value of teacher. Console.log. Okay. We are able to access that. Means the value is getting changed also. Let's make it CCC. See, we are able to access it. But if we try to declare the same variable with const, assignment to constant variable. So the name in the name itself, constant, you cannot change the value of it. Okay. When you create a variable with const, you cannot change the value of it. Okay. Either it is string, number, boolean, date, or anything. But when it comes to object and array, you can change. But again, the rule is you cannot use equal to sign again. You cannot use equal to sign again. You cannot reinitialize that value when it comes to constant. Okay. But in case of object and array, you can. How? See now. If you create constant, student is equal to curly bracket. Let's say when initializing, you just have one property name. Okay. But student dot city, you are changing the value. Okay. Let me comment this. Let's try to print the object also. See, you got the property, we are able to change. Same goes with array also. Constant city list is equal to, let's say, only Pune we have. Then city list dot push Mumbai. Let's print it also. See, we are able to do it. Okay. So here what we are doing, we are not using equal to sign on the variable directly. We are using either some method or this is property, like we are adding new property. But if you try to use equal to sign again, it will break again. See, assignment to constant variable. Doesn't matter what data you have stored, either it is object or array, you cannot reinitialize the value. Okay. But in case of array and object, you can change the value of it by using some properties and some method. Okay. This difference you have to specify whenever you are whenever you are answering this, what do we say, latent constant difference. Okay. So this is everything you should know about var latent const. Anyone having any question quick?
Yes, sir, I have question.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah, no.
You said like with the string we cannot change, right? If
Yes.
we declare const teacher is
Yes. Yes.
by the method of some string, like let's say phone
will-
47 number.
It won't update the existing value. It will, you have to store it into a new variable, two lower or two upper. That won't change the existing value. It will return new value. So you need to store that into a new variable. So again, story comes back. You are not changing original variable value. Got it?
There is any method which will change the original, it will mutate the original one,
Right.
just like a teacher dot. If
Correct.
I use teacher dot something, there are some method which will
They are
change the
returning
original.
new value. They won't change the existing value. We don't have any method in the string which will like change the existing value. It will return new something. We have to store it into another variable. Got
Okay.
it?
Yes. And sir, maybe I have another question, not related to this. Just
Let-
like what's the
let's complete
difference?
the. Let
What's the
everyone ask
difference
them.
between creating a literal, just
We
like
will- we
with
will.
the new and just without new,
We
a
will come to that.
variable?
Wait. Now let's complete the question first. Yeah, Anand.
Sir, in case of var, if we
Hmm.
use for with var inside the
Hmm.
function,
Hmm.
can we access it after the function?
No. See, this I forgot. So see, we say var has a function or a global scope, correct? If we
Yeah.
have this var for loop over here, so by default we are able to access it. But if we
Yes.
wrap this inside a function, okay?
Yes.
See, how do we evaluate every time? Okay, whenever we,
Yes.
just a minute. Whenever we have to evaluate this kind of snippet, again goes to the basic. What's the scope of var?
Function and
Or
global.
global. Where we have
Yeah.
declared this var? Sorry.
Inside a function scope.
Inside a function. So what will
Yeah.
be the accessibility of this var? Within the function only.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Function or global. Where you are
Okay.
creating that var. If it is inside the var function, this function will be the scope.
So it will accessible inside the function scope.
Inside the function only, na?
Yeah.
But outside it won't be.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Next one.
Yeah, sir, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Can you please scroll down? So as you, the declare the const variable as a, as a object or as a array. So is it same thing happen with we are just the declare with the let?
Yeah, of course, same thing. No, we can change the value. No? The difference is with constant, if you store string, integer, number, boolean, you cannot change the variable value.
Yeah.
Basically, with constant, you cannot use equal to sign again. After you cannot reinitialize the value. Okay. With let,
Yeah.
you can do anything.
Okay,
This is with const only.
Okay, so once I'm just getting means declare the variable with the length, and I'm just the student dot city is the Pune. So can I override with that
Yeah,
particular?
that you can override.
Okay, got it.
If you are able to add new property, you can change the existing property value also. With object and array, these things are possible. This Pune also you can change because you are not directly initializing with new. Correct? Getting it?
Yeah.
You are not directly assigning new value. Okay. So everything is possible with array and object, but not just directly equal to sign you cannot use. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Fine. So next is our arrow function. Okay. Let's grab it. Now this is again tricky part. Okay. How does arrow function and normal function what do we say? How it differ? What's the main difference between arrow function and the normal function? Not the syntax. What's the real difference between arrow function and the normal function?
Self-invoking.
Keyword.
Arrow function is self-invoking.
Arrow? No. Who said arrow function is self-invoking?
This keyword is
Arrow function we don't need to use written instead normal function we should use.
Sir, arrow function does not have on this keyword.
Right? See, the most important difference is how this behaves in arrow function and normal function. This is the first difference you should tell. Okay. Then second difference is arguments. In normal function, you can get the arguments. But in arrow function, we don't have access to the argument. That's why we cannot use rest operator also. Okay. Just a minute. So sorry. Okay. So where I was?
Arrow function, sir.
Yeah. So argument, we cannot have access means we cannot access the argument, like how many arguments we have received. That's why we cannot use rest operator also. Normal function we can invoke by using new, but arrow function we cannot. So these are the three main difference. Again, that return statement not readed. It's a shorter way, you can tell that. But these three differences you need to mention anyhow. This argument, rest operator, and the new. Okay. Let's see the difference now. So sorry, wait. On click of tab, it is opening something. What happened? Just a minute. My keyboard stopped working. Something behaving wrong. Let me stop it. I need to restart. Something happened to my keyboard. It's behaving strange. Let me start it again. Okay. Just 2 minutes.
Just press the Alt Shift. I think it will.
Alt
Shift.
No, still it is going. On click of tab, it is opening that Windows selector, no something. Okay, now it came back. Fine, thank you. Okay, let's see now. Let's create a normal function. Print student in this function, we will try to access the value by this operator. Okay. So let's say now just to understand properly now, we will declare global variable also where let's say age equal to 20. Okay. We have declared a global variable where age is equal to 20. Now inside this also, I'm declaring one more variable, this dot age equal to 0. Okay. Now in set timeout or directly also, let's write set timeout, and in set timeout, we will use, instead of arrow function, we will use normal function. And in set timeout after 2 seconds, we will try to access console.log this dot age. Okay. This is your normal function. Let's try to execute it. Okay. So see what it has printed, 0. So in normal function, this will point to the current context, means where it is currently, where we are in the currently. So this we are accessing inside this function. So it will point to this particular function. Okay. So it is not considering this outside. Okay. Just remember this for now. Let me just comment this. Now instead of that, now same copy paste one more function. And here instead of normal function, I will use arrow function. Okay. Now we are calling this function from global outside. We are invoking this function from outside. Okay. No, wait, why it is printing 0 again? Outside it is 20. We have set timeout and this dot age. Anyone getting what went wrong? We are calling this function from global scope. So it should have considered this age variable.
You
right?
can remove
So it's
remove
supposed to be
this
passed in
line number 22.
No. That's the difference I want to check now. If it is considering this or this.
Yeah, I think we need to pass age variable inside the print student as a parameter.
No, then it will consider the parameter. Then it is not going to use this context. We try to invoke this. Let's try invoking like this.
Ah, yeah. Do we use the
No,
dollar?
still it is pointing to this only. Why it is pointing to this?
Do we need to use a dollar this?
No. Let's see another example. Let's create an object. Where student obj. Inside that we have name property. Okay. Here we will store Angular print name. Okay. Here I'm accessing this dot name. Okay. One more function, print arrow name. Console.log this dot name. Okay. Now, so where student object dot print name, it should print Angular. Why it's not printing Angular? Line number 17 got executed, but why it's not showing anything? Strange. Let's add a debugger. Empty. How come? Or without this? But that's the difference, no? Then this dot, if we are calling, okay. We are executing this function. Both the function we have written arrow only. This is the normal function we have to try. Okay, so see here this is working. Okay. So print name is a normal function. So we are able to access the this. So this will point to the this particular object where you have declared this particular line of code. So it is pointing to this particular object. Okay. Now when I try to access the arrow function, it is not getting that angular. So, wait, continue over here. Here we are getting it empty. Why empty? Because in the catch we might have the same name. Let's name 3. Then you will get undefined. Because we created so many variables with the name now, so it might find that. See, undefined. So when we get undefined, when do we get undefined? When variable is not declared, right? Now in the global space, I'm creating a variable num3. Sorry, name3, no? And here I'm storing React. Okay. So now in the normal function, this dot name3 will point to the current object where you have declared it. So this will point to the object. So this dot name3, we got Angular. Okay. Now in arrow function, we got React. Okay. You understood? In normal function, it was pointing to the particular object. But in arrow function, it was pointing from where we have called that function, where we have actually invoked that function. We have invoked this function into global space. And in my global space, I have a name3 variable. So this will point over here. Okay. So just to basic understand, when you are invoking an arrow function, it will point to from where you are invoking. What's the scope? Where is this particular line is? The line number 27 is in the global. So it will try to find, this context will refer to the global scope. But normal function this context will refer to where it is actually created, not on the invoking. We are invoking this function from the global, but in a normal function, this will point to the current scope where it is actually written. Okay. An arrow function will point to from where you are calling. We are calling this function from global. In global, we have this name3. So this dot name3 is pointing to this global variable, not in the outside, not in the inside. Understood? So the same difference I was trying to do with the earlier case, but I don't know like what we were missing it over there. Normal function should print both the time it was printing 0, 0 only. You understood everyone? This? How this is
Yes.
behaving in normal function and arrow function.
So if we put these 26 and 27 inside that object, so then how this will
See,
behave?
let's try to create one more function. Okay. Means instead of calling this in a global, let's create one more function. Okay. Print demo. And now we will create arrow function or what? Let's create arrow function. Okay. But how do we call the same function over here? We cannot, no?
Can we
Let's-
use it immediately invoke function? Can we use that?
Let's try normal function. We just want to see what it prints. Doesn't matter what this is, no? This function. No, again, same thing will go because we are invoking this function from outside. Let's try. This it is pointing to that outside because this function ultimately we called from outside. Let's try self-invoking. Round bracket. How do we do that? Function, round bracket, curly bracket. but still it won't execute. Now we need to invoke this, right? This is a function. Will it invoke automatically?
No, sir, we are storing the values to print
This
demo
is stored
key.
inside this. Now, so this won't execute unless we invoke this. So this won't execute.
It won't execute.
Right. So
It's just kind of we are storing a memory. This is the memory we are storing in print demo.
it won't execute by itself. Same it will happen. See, even if we are calling, but still same thing. We are invoking this parent function also from the outside, so it will consider outside only. Understood? See, this is the best example to understand that this, like how it behaves differently. I will try to see that the first example why it went wrong. Okay. Let's see the next difference, that is arguments.
For regular function, it does not matter. Like if we call it outside or inside the object, right?
But it should behave how it is behaving with the object. In case of norm, okay, so both the function were normal. That might be the case. Okay, I will again check it properly. What went wrong over there? Now, arguments. Okay, let's say this is very famous one. They will try to ask you to create a function which will add the number. Okay, but sometimes you will pass 2 numbers, sometimes you will pass 3 number, any parameter you will pass, not just adding 2 number. Sometimes 2 number you want the addition, sometimes 3 number, sometimes 4 number, or even sometimes 10 number. How do you create a function like that which will work with any type of argument?
With the spread operator.
No,
rest operator. Correct.
Rest operator, na. See, that's our three dots only. But when you are using 3 dots inside as a parameter, it becomes spread rest operator, and normally it is spread. Okay. Now, let's say add numbers. Now here I will have 3 dots. Args console.log arguments. Okay, so this that I was talking arguments. Okay, now when I call this, I'm passing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So see, we got array 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this argument means you are able to access how many values, array of arguments, how many parameter you have got, that you can access by arguments. This is possible in your normal function. Okay, let's create var add dynamic num. First of all, rest operator we can use in normal function also. Here we cannot use rest operator like this. Okay, let's try to access the argument also. It should provide some different error. Arguments is not defined. Okay, so this argument was accessible inside normal function only, and here we are not able to access it. Let's try to remove it and let's try to add a debugger and see what do we get over here. See, what do we got? No, wait. Why it got array? It should not, no? How come we got array over here? Let's see the difference. Every time JavaScript come with something new. Here we are getting the array. Okay. And there also it was same only, no? Array we are getting. And here also array. We can access spread of rest operator in arrow function. I think we can. Anyone have faced like this or tried? Because that's the definition everyone knows. We cannot use the rest operator in the arrow function, but we can. Just argument we cannot, but rest operator we can. Correct or no? Or am I doing something wrong? We are able to access. Same way over here also.
Console.log that arguments.
No, arguments that we saw. Argument is only limited to your normal function. In arrow function, we don't have. But rest operator, we are able to use it over here also.
ARGS.
Wait, let's try to change it. Here we got it. We got it. It's not referring to that also.
It's converting a argument into array.
Yeah.
When
But
when
basically,
when
even
it
if we
comes-
are not able to access this, we are able to access array as a parameter over here.
Can you go to console, like where there's printing the result?
It's printing.
So above is a symbol iterator, and the
Symbol
second,
this is
second
just
one
array
is
we got.
array. So
But
it's
again,
not
like
not
same-
accessing like argument, but
Yeah,
it's
not
converting it to array.
But let's say if here also, if we want to add, we will iterate on this. Here also we will iterate. Same logic we will perform over here. Just like here we got the iterator, symbol iterator, and here we got the array directly. But we cannot say in like that, then rest operator doesn't work over here. We are able to access it. I have only learned that definition, and you also know. Rest operator we cannot use in arrow function, and this is what I used to know. Okay, so the second difference we can limit to argument only. So argument we cannot have access in the arrow function, just limited to the normal function. Okay. Now the third was the how we invoke. Okay. So let's try to use new over here. Let's try to use new over here. So our first function got called, and second we got proto. Is not a constructor, because this by default the prototype of function is your object, but in case of arrow function it is not. So we cannot use new operator to invoke your function, which is arrow. Okay. So this context, your the second one, argument, and cannot use new with the arrow function. Then again, like in arrow function, you need to use in normal function, you need to use return keyword to return something. But in arrow function, if it's a single line, you don't need return keyword, but you can write the return keyword also. Okay. One more with the hosting. Normal functions support hosting. We can access before this also. Right? But in arrow function, we cannot access it. Why we cannot access the arrow function without initialization, before initialization?
Because it is storing in variable.
Right? Because it's a variable. Unless this line execute, it is not going to know like what data we have. Currently at this line, this is undefined. So we cannot execute something which is undefined. Okay? Is not a function. Because currently, what's the value we have at this line? Undefined, na? Undefined is not a function. We cannot invoke it. So that's why we say normal functions support hosting, but arrow function doesn't support hosting. Clear? So 4 main differences you can see apart from syntax and that return keyword, shorter way of writing. This argument, new operator, and the hosting. These are the main 4 differences you need to explain. Yep.
We can store the normal function in a variable or no?
Late and constant also. This we have done. We have stored into variable.
That's a arrow function, but normal function, the 35th
normal function
one.
also we can store. Na? In function we have some. This is also possible. Right? Then a dot you will invoke. But again, if you do like this, can you invoke like this? Before its initialization, can you invoke?
No.
Again, same thing, no? Because this line is not executed. At this point of view, this is a variable only, so it is undefined. Clear, na?
Yes.
Same thing will happen. Is not a function. Okay.
So what's the use case? Can you show us the for the hosting
Means
use
use case
case
means
of hosting?
see in Angular we cannot use like that. It just limited with JavaScript only. Okay. Fine. A quick one. Template literal is a small one. Let me complete that. Now in JavaScript, how do we concatenate variable? How this plus symbol behaves, right? Plus symbol, you might have seen various code snippet with plus symbol here, string value, then number value 0, 1. So many different snippets are there with plus symbol. Let's say we have num1. Here I have 12, where num2, here I have a, or let's say 12 also. And if I say where result is equal to num1 plus num2, what the output should be in the result?
1 2 1 2.
Right? Because plus operator we use in two places, to concatenate and to add also. If both the operand has the integer data type, then it will addition, otherwise it will concat. Then we have the variable. Okay, so see, result we got 1 2 1 2 because one operand is string. Now if it is okay, so now result you will be seeing the addition. Okay, because plus operator is very confusing. How do we use it? Sometimes we use it for addition also, and sometimes we use it for concatenation also. Okay, but why I explain this in template editor? We don't need this, no? Sorry, concatenation I was explaining. Now instead of this, now let's say we have two strings a b b b. Okay, so if we have to concat, we use plus only. So that's how we concatenate two string variable. Right? We got it. Let's say if I need the space, what I will do? Again, I will add plus and a single quote with space. Just like how we create the full name, no? Just like that. Now I will have a space also because we added a space in between. Okay. So this is how we concatenate. Now consider you have so many big string to concatenate, so many in between variable you want to concatenate, in between some value you are getting from some function. Let's try to replicate that. Consider you are creating a long string where in between you are using some variable, in between you are using some function, so many things are happening. And by doing that, you are creating your full string. So if you are using plus plus, it will work. There is nothing like we can do with concatenation and the template literal. Everything we can do. But for our purpose, developer point of view, template literal is little bit easy to write. Okay. So how is multi-line is also there. So same thing what we did over here. How do we write it with template literal is like result2 is equal to, we use this. What do we call this? Backtick, right? So first, whenever you want to access a variable, you will write dollar and then curly bracket and then your variable. Then you need space. So just give space. Again, name2, num2. So see, same output you get. Now this is very small example, but consider very long string is there. And inside that also you have plus plus, because sometimes it might happen that you might forget to add one plus or one concatenate. Again, you might face error. But this is very easy for developer point of view. Okay. Now multi-line. Let's say so much big string is there. So much scroll will be there, right? But if it is very, let me find example. Where I have that example. It's Chetan or somewhere I had that example where we were binding multiple. Let me find.
Sir,
Yes, we have. Yep.
as we perform concatenation and sum, so in a backtake scope, I will perform addition also.
Yeah, everything you can do. It's like actually running your code. See.
Okay, with the plus sign, you can.
Yeah, everything. If you in how do we do in Angular or React? In curly
Okay.
braces, you can do the addition, no? Everything. It's like executing this code. Okay, here if we have 2 and 2, you can actually do the addition also. Okay, everything is
Okay,
possible
sir.
over here. Okay,
Okay.
so see, this was the example. This is with template literal, but let's say if we have to manage this with double quote, multi-line, it will be very hard. First, we have to create a variable where text is equal to something, you will put it over here. Then text plus is equal to text, that how, not plus, text plus then remaining string. Okay, then in next line again you need to write, again you will add text, like that you will write. It is so confusing to add multi-line text, but with template literal it is very easy, like this. Okay, so these are the things we can do. Even again, like just you told, right? Just like this, let's say we have a function also. Function add to num. And here we have 2 and 2 parameter. Sorry. Num1, num2. You can actually call this function also over here with passing some parameter, just like how we are using in Angular or in React also. Okay. So this is everything possible with template literal. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So again, like we have spread operator, rest operator, destructuring, and class we have already seen. Generate. Okay, so that generate and the yield function is remaining. So from function. So we will see that tomorrow. Okay, fine. Thank you all. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yesterday we started ES6 feature. Up to arrow function we completed. After that template literal also we completed. So today we will try to complete spread operator, rest operator, destructuring. Fine. And if we have time again, one more we will complete. Let's start with spread operator first. Now, if I ask you, let's say we have two array. Let's say Maharashtra city list. MS city is equal to, let's say we have Pune. Then we have Nagpur. Then just like that, we have one more variable where we are storing MP city list. MP city list. We have Indore and Bhopal. Now, if I ask you to combine this both the array, how you will do it without using spread operator? How can we combine both of these array into a single array? How we can join these both array?
Concat.
Right?
Method.
So array concat method is there, right? But again, like that concat method is very limited. You can just join two arrays, but let's say in between you need to add something new element, right? At the end or at the starting, you need to add new elements. So that is not possible directly. So a best way to, whenever you have to concat or you have to clone, right? So you have to go for a spread operator. Okay. So let's see how. So we have this two array. Let's say I said where city list. And here I need to combine both the element from this array and this array into this new array. So what I will do, square bracket, dot, 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 3 dots, then you can access a variable. See, now variables are suggesting. If I just add a dot, nothing is suggesting. 2 dot, 3 dot. Once you add 3 dot, see variables are coming. So first Maharashtra city list, then again 3 dots, MP city list. Let's print this also. Console.log city list variable, we will print it. Let's open the console. So see, we got new array where we have all the 4 elements. So that is how we combine both the array and created a new array of it. This is spread operator. So what actually spread operator does it will let you iterate on the array, string and object. Kind of, it will iterate on all the element. It will bring all the element over here. Okay. It will iterate on whatever the data we have it over, and it will bring all the elements over here. So first here we will get Pune, Nagpur, comma, then Indore and the Bhopal. Like this it is working. Okay. Now, this is what we have done. We have just combined 2 array. Let's say while combining, I need to add one of my city also. City to list. And now, since it is an array, so in array sequence matter, right? So whatever you add in the first element will be there. See, Pune, Nagpur, then Indore and Bhopal. Because in array sequence matter, because we access element by using the index only. So sequence matter. Now I need the MP list in the first position. So I will use MP list over here. Then in between, I need to add Jabalpur, one more city from MP. Means we are combining 2 array, but while combining, I'm adding new element also. Maharashtra list. Okay, let's print this also. So see, understood? So we combined both of the array, but while combining, we added one more new element also over here. So Jabalpur is also there. And then Pune and the Nagpur, because sequence matter in array. Clear? So you can combine 2 array. While combining, you can insert new element also at any position, start, end, anything. Let's say, let's add one more city. That will be Mumbai in sit. See, we got Mumbai at the end. Anywhere you can add, whatever the position you say, it will add on that element, particular index. Okay. So this is for combining. Let's say I ask you to just copy whatever the data we have in Maharashtra city to do another variable. Means cloning it. Clone MH city. So what you will do, simply square bracket and only single element MH city. That's it. So this is nothing but copy or creating a clone of it. Why it has added debugger? See, we got a clone of that particular array. So what you can do with spread operator, you can combine. While combining, you can insert some new element also, and you can clone it also. This is with array. Same thing we can do with object also. Okay, let's comment it out. Let's create var student. Let's say instead of student, let's say basic details. And a student basic detail object, let's say we have name. Then we have city. Okay, just 2 elements are enough. We have this one object. One more object I will create. Let's say instead of basic, now it will be contact detail. And here I have email. Guys, just wait for some time. Let me complete. Then we will go with the question. Email and mobile. So let's say a@gmail.com and some mobile number. Okay. So see, now what do we have? We have 2 elements. Sorry, we have 2 objects. One is the basic detail and one is the contact detail. Now I need to combine both of the key value pair data into a new object. Means I need an object where we have the basic detail also and the contact detail also. So var student details is equal to curly bracket. So when we were using spread operator, in case of what do we say, array, we were using array symbol. Okay. Now we are combining objects. So we have to use curly brackets. So dot, 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 first object, basic detail, comma, dot, 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 contact detail. Let's try to print this. Student detail over here. See, we got a combination of both of the both of the key value pair data present in both of the array. Got it? So it's not spread operator we can use with array also. We can use it with object also. Same thing, whatever we did over here, we combined, then while combining, we created some new field also. That is also possible. Let's add a new field over here. Let's say we have name, city, pin code we don't have. So let's add a pin code. Pin code : 112233. Save. So see, new element has new property also, pin code. So we combined both the object, but while combining, we added new property also. New key value pair data is also we have added, so that is also available. Understood? Again, same thing, that clone, lastly we did, that also possible. Let's say I just need to copy the data we have in student detail into one more variable, student, or let's say clone or copy basic curly bracket dot 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 basic only. So it will clone the data whatever we have in the copy basic. We are getting debugger. Okay, so see, in your copy basic, we have got the data, whatever the key value pair data we had in student basic detail. Basically, it copied the data from over here and put it over here. So copy also we can do. So spread operator we can use with array also and object also. We can combine, we can copy. While combining, we can insert some new field also. Okay. Now, next thing, we can use spread operator with functions also. Now how? Let's say function add num. Here to this function, we have two parameters, num1 and num2. Let's return num1 plus num2. So we have a function which has two parameters. Let's say you are getting array from somewhere, number array, and you have 3 and 7 over here. Now you have to execute this function. But while executing, you can directly pass the function also like this. And your num array. This is also possible. So again, when you are explaining, let's say if you are having up to 3 years of experience now, if you explain object and array, that's fine. But if you have more than that experience now, so now this also you need to explain. Like we can pass array also to a function by using spread operator. Okay, let's try it. Constant result is equal to, let's add a debugger. Let's debug it. So see, we have this array. Now I'm calling this function, and while calling, I'm passing the array as a spread operator. Let's add a debugger at line number 30. So see, num1 you got 3 and num2 you got 7. Understood? And the result we got whatever the result it has. So while calling the function also, we are able to use spread operator. This is not rest, okay? This is not rest. This is spread only. We will come to the rest. This is with function. One more way is there. We can use spread operator on the string also. Let's say I said where title is equal to Angular. We have a variable. In that variable, we have some string. If I ask you, we need array of character, whatever the character we have, we need to create an array of it. How do we do that without using spread operator? I need array of split. Guys, those who are talking, okay, only one. So if I need the array of character, what I mean, a 0th location, a 1th location, and like that. So what we can use, string method is there, split. Okay, that way you can do it. But by using spread operator also we can do it. Okay, how? Where char list is equal to your square bracket dot 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 your title. Okay, console.log char list over here. So see, we got array of the characters. So what that split method was doing, same thing we can achieve with the spread operator also. Clear? Let's say I need array. This is an string, but I need to convert this into object. Is it possible to convert string into object? Just see
Yes, we
this.
can do that.
We have created array of particular characters. Just like that, I need to, instead of array, I need to create an object of it now, of each character, whatever we have. Okay. So where char obj is equal to, you will use curly bracket and then you will use title over here. So see, what key value data pair we should get? Any guesses? How we should get
0,
the
1, 0,
0,
1,
1,
2
2.
will be
right?
P.
So it will start assigning from 0. Okay. See, 0th location A, 1st location, like that. Means it has created that object with starting with 0, 1, 2, something unique we need. That's why. Okay. So if you are going with an experience function and this string also, you need to explain properly. Not just array and the object, you have to limit function and the spread also. In string also, we can use spread operator. This also you need to explain. Clear all?
Yes.
Anyone having a question?
So just like a small question, what's the difference between assigning with separate operator equal to and without separate operator? It's gonna be the same, or is there any change
No.
behind the?
I didn't get your question. Without
So
equal to
let's
means?
say on 48 number line, you assign
To a different.
yeah, char list is equal to with the
It's
separate
like
operator.
it is returning something. So if you don't store it into a variable, what it's going to do? Got it? It's going to return something, na? So you need to store it into some another
But
variable.
we can also do without spreader operator is equal to just title as well, right?
Means
Where char list is equal to title.
like this.
Yes, the same thing, right?
But it will store the same value, na? I needed array of character we have. What this is? You are storing the value of title into it.
Okay, my question is about not for the string, just for object and array.
Yeah, that will do. Same thing it will do. But when it comes to the nested object, na, like inner object we have, and then that shallow copy comes into picture. So there we have that topic. That's why means we can do that because it's a value. Either it's a string value number, you can assign it. It's simply that value you have it over here, you are assigning it. But same thing we can do with spread operator also. Because spread
Is there
operator
any difference behind the scene?
no,
That's
no,
what
nothing no difference. Same thing you are
because
doing.
in my previous budget, I saw like they were using a spread operator. Might be might be because of some
that's a
reason they are
standard way.
using.
No. You can also try. Nothing, no difference because it's an object. Whatever you have, you are going to assign it to a different variable, right? Same thing it will do.
Okay.
Anyone having any question, or we can move ahead then? Okay, let's move to the rest operator now. Rest is little bit easy. What do we say? Let's say if I ask you to create a function which will add any number of addition. So if we see this function was adding only 2 number addition. But let's say I ask you to create a function which will add any number of addition. I can pass 2 number, 3 number, 10 number, anything. Dynamic parameter we should be able to pass. Okay. So function add numbers. Okay. So now here we can accept array of, what do we say, parameter by using rest operator. So dot numbers. Okay. And this function we can call 1, 2, I can pass. Again, same function 3, 4, 5, 6 also I can pass. Okay. Any number of parameter you can pass to this function. See now. Save. See. First we got 1 and 2. Continue. Then we got 3, 4, 5, 6. Second function we called. Then last one. Now you got the array, you can iterate the for loop and you can addition and then you can return. That logic it is something else. But see again, rest operator is also 3 dot and spread operator is also 3 dot. But the difference is when you are writing 3 dot inside function as a parameter, that become your rest operator. Okay. So this is what called rest operator. Clear, everyone?
But if, sir, we send one parameter, it will be treated as a array or just a number?
Yeah, array
Type.
only. Array only. See, if I pass single parameter also, now it will treat as array only. See, only one element we got. Understood?
Okay.
Okay. Anyone question? Shall I move ahead?
So what if we pass array in invoice?
What if we pass?
Array in add number function.
Yeah. Okay, means you want to pass another array as an argument. Let's try.
Yes. Yes.
Let's say if we try to pass over here. No, we got single element then. And in that element, we got array. Able to see? We got array and we got a single array. And in the first position, we got an array.
Okay.
Okay, so it won't divide that 0 into 1, then not like that. Because spirit operator, it will combine multiple element into a single. So even you are passing an array, but this ultimately it's a, when you pass it over here, it will combine that into a single element. So it will convert that to array. And if you have array over here, so first element will you, whatever the value you are passing, it will go to the first index like that. Let's say if you one more created, array number 2. And this you passed it over here. Now you will have two elements. In first element, you will have this array, and second element, you have this array. See, got it?
Yes, sir.
Fine. See, this like every time JavaScript is, as I said, like every time you will think of something, again, we have to check, right? So
Can we
many
pass
scenarios are there.
object or function also?
Object, if we pass object, what it should do?
I mean, it will take multiple object into array.
Let's try.
Yes.
Means you are guessing like email ID you should get in first element, and it should not happen like that, but let's try. No, first element you got the whole object, just like it was doing with array. Understood?
So the data type will be the array
Array
of
only.
that rest operator.
Right. In first
If
element,
we
you got the
pass
first object.
multiple object,
again,
then again
same
array
case
of
with,
objects.
right. In second element, you got the second object like that.
And if we
Okay.
pass another function,
again, that will be
into
again
the-
like it will accept array only. So first in 0th location, you will have first function. First location, again you pass the second function, it will go to the second, first location. We have
Sir, how
created that
can
array of
we,
function like that. Yep.
sir, how can we access it? Like in the first 0th element, it is having an array of 3 and 7. So if I have to access the 7th value, then how
First you
can I?
will your numbers of 0, then again what do we say, square bracket, and then 1 like that. Then you will get the 7.
Okay. Nested,
array
like
of nested,
nested
two-dimensional array.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Fine. Let's move ahead. So this is one way. Okay. With rest operator, we have one more scenario, that is let's just create this function one more time. Now we have this function, but let's say you don't have means you need to have one more parameter which is mandatory. Means this is like only one parameter, but let's say you need one more parameter. Let's say multiply number. Okay. So now this function has two parameters, one a normal parameter and second as a rest operator. So when you call like this, see now what happens. Instead of add number, I will call in B. Let's comment this. So see, first element, see, this is 1 and 2 way pass. First element will go over here and remaining will go over here. Remaining. Okay. Now you see second time. we pass 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, first element, first parameter will go over here. Okay, and remaining will go over here, 4, 5, 6. This is also possible. Means if you have to create a function with rest operator, you can have a normal parameter also. But there is a condition that rest operator should be at the last only. You cannot have a rest operator over here. Clear? You cannot have a rest operator as a first parameter. It should be last only. That is the only thing we have. Clear? Fine. Rest, the meaning itself, remaining, rest.
If we do the rest operator at the beginning, then which error it will give?
Not sure error. Let's try. We are getting compiler. A rest parameter must be last. Here only we get it. Okay, compile time only.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Clear all? So you can have a normal function, normal parameter also, and rest parameter also, but rest should be the last one. Now, so the meaning of rest, when we talk about English, rest is remaining. Okay. Now I can use rest with array and object also. Again, rest is not limited with the function only. Okay. So as I said, if you have up to 3 years of experience, function, how you use rest operator in the function, you can explain, that's fine. But apart from after this also, right? After more than 3 years, you should know the other way also. That is, you can use rest operator in array and object also. Okay. How? So let's see. What do we say? Constant. Now it is combination of your destructuring and array. Okay. So we will see that destructuring again, but for now, see. So I'm creating a destructuring variable. I'm creating 2 variable. Let's say first element and then dot rest element. Now here I'm passing array. We have array over here now. Okay, so see what I did, I actually created 2 variable, but over here inside the square bracket. So what I did, first element, second element. Okay, now when I try to access this variable, it's like creating a variable only. My first variable name is first element and second is rest element. So console.log first element, just like that, rest element. Okay. So see, in first element, what we got? Pune. And the rest, second variable, rest element, what we got? The remaining element. Now understood the rest? Understood?
Yes.
Okay, so this is combination with destructuring and your normal rest operator. Okay. Now if I create one more variable, second element, what it should do?
Nagpur will go in there.
Pune,
Right?
Nagpur,
Pune,
then
first element Pune, second element Nagpur.
then
After
Nagpur, yeah.
Fine. And the rest remaining will go to the last, like this. Same thing we can do with object also.
What if I want to access last from last element?
If you want to access
From last element, like suppose indoor, I want to access indoor.
you want this in the first, like this?
Yeah.
Let's try. Same error we got in the function. Rest should be the last one because that's the word, na, rest remaining. Okay. What happened with the function? Same thing. So object. Okay. So we have an object where we have some 4 field. Now let's say I want to extract data city into another variable. So what I will do, where shall I use square bracket or curly bracket? What I should use? Curly braces. We are trying to access object, right? So here we were trying to access the array. So that's why square bracket. Okay. So let's say city colon rest field is equal to, you are passing this object over here. I don't know like if you have used this, but we use this so much in Angular. If your project is having so much bigger object, inside object, nested object, so we use this so much. Okay. Console.log city and rest field over here. See, why it printed like this? Okay, we did. And rest field. Okay, so we got value and the remaining thing got over there in the remaining object, means we extracted city only and the remaining field object was stored over in the second variable.
Sir, can we assign this city and rest field to the another variable, and we can use only console.log, like only single console.log? Is it possible?
Means
this where is assigned to the another variable, right? And we have used here a two console log, na? Instead of using two console log, can we use only single console.log?
And comma separated, you are saying? Like
yes.
this?
Yes.
It will show same only we did. It is going to print. See? One line.
Sir, this is destructuring, I guess, hai na?
Yeah, destructuring only. But we are using rest also along with it. Okay. It is similar to the destructuring, but we are using rest also inside that. Clear?
Sir, if a student basic details we are getting from as a result of any API, and we want to save only city and state, only extract
like
the city and state only to other variable,
right,
using this destructuring, how we can save only
same
the
thing,
city and
see. Okay. Now let's say this data you are getting from the API. Now from, let's say you have 50 field in your object, but you just need two things. So you can do like that. Okay. Clear?
Okay.
We extracted value from the bigger object and put it into a different variable. The same thing we
And
can do with that dot also, but again, two lines of code will be there. Instead of that, this is the more proper way.
And only this city and state, can we store it into other variable, because we have to do some functionality
No,
on
this
that?
is nothing but variable only. What you have written over here, now this is nothing but where city is equal to what? It is same thing.
Student basic dot city, yeah.
Got it? These are variable only. See, if you don't know this object destructuring, you would have created like this manually.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
Right? Same thing you are doing it over there. These are nothing but variable. You are accessing it, na? See console log. So you are accessing those.
Yes,
understood?
Sir. Yeah, okay.
Sir, if we put the spread operator next to state on 81 number line, so the rest property will go to the state, right?
It is not extracting. Then remaining property will go into this variable. Okay.
And over here in a variable, we have to must match the key name with the variable, right?
Yes. No, other way is also there. I will come to that. Okay. So this was because this was not destructuring. This was, we were using destructuring, but along with the rest. Okay. Now we will see the destructuring. Now destructuring is like extracting data from your array or object and putting into some another variable. And let's say you have 100 field into your object, and from that you just need 2 or 3 things. Okay. So just now we did, we created city and state different variable, then dot, 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 with dot, right? Is like normal access, what we do. Instead of that, you can use your object destructuring. So let's copy this. Okay. So let's consider like from API, you get so many things like this. So now you want to extract state from it. So what you will do? Sorry. State is equal to, you will pass your object. We got MH. We extracted state from this whole object. You can create many variable also. You just need
But we
contact
have
number.
to use the same name, sir. Whatever mentioned the JSON, we
Yeah,
have to use the same.
wait. Let me come to. We can use another name also. Okay. So contact. Okay. So see, we are able to access it. But this is like we have to use the same name. But let's say from your object, you are getting, let's say here only, the spelling is wrong. But again, let's say API person make the mistake, he has created column with the wrong spelling name, but you cannot keep on doing the mistake. No? Let's say you want to create your variable name properly. Let's say instead of contact number, you want your variable name to be, what do we say, mobile number. So constant. First, your original key name, what the key name is over there. So key name is this, colon, your variable name is equal to your object. Now, this is your variable. Like this property you are storing into this variable. Okay.
Sir, can we use it in 92 line?
Wait. Yeah, there also you can do that. Okay. You are able to access. Means instead of means you are saying like one single and one with that. That is also possible.
Yeah.
This is also possible.
Okay.
No. Cannot. Okay. This is already there. Okay. Combination
Yes.
you can use. This is with object destructuring we have done. Just like object, we can do we can do this with array also. See now. What is the array?
That's why we call some shorthand property, right?
Yes.
We don't have to use our own variable name.
Yes. Okay. So we created city list. Now I want to extract first element and the second element, and I need to put it into another variable. Okay. So constant city1, city2, and I will assign my array over here. So what it will do, Pune will go over here and Nagpur will go over here. Pune and Nagpur. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. If you need third element again, you will keep on creating. Clear?
We can also do like if we don't need a second variable to declare, but I want to access this Indore. Pune and Indore I want to access. So I think there we can give one more extra comma, but we will not declare that variable.
Let's try. Like this. I also didn't know this.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah, Indore we got. So we can skip that if we don't need one more variable. Right. So that's the advantage of this session. Sometimes some things I get to know also.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, can we give your numbers in the constant that array list city1 instead of city1, city2? Can we give like indexes 0, 1, 2?
But can we declare variables starting with number?
Yes,
No.
sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
No.
No. We cannot create variables starting with number. No? That's the rule of variable declaration.
Sir, not number, sir.
Ah.
We are using instead of city1, we can use another name, sir.
Anything,
we can change
name,
the spell.
Name 1, name 2, anything, na?
Sir.
It's
That's
an
what
array, na? Nothing
Ah.
with property name.
Okay,
Whatever
sir.
you want to give.
Okay, sir.
Clear all?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So spread operator with array, spread operator with object, then rest operator with normal function, rest operator with array, and rest operator with object, but along with object destructuring, and this is pure object destructuring. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So we can stop for today. Anyone having any question?
Sir, can you conduct one on a session on that currying and
Currying and
apply
generate
bind and
function.
yeah,
Apply bind
apply
we
bind
already
and
did yesterday. Apply bind we already
I missed
covered.
it again. Okay.
Currying and yield, currying and generate function is remaining, so I will cover that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Fine.
Sir,
Thank you all.
yesterday's session recording we have available.
I will compile
Okay.
ES6 and then I will put it into together. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Fine. Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thanks for joining.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.